Okay, so hello, Norlene. Nice to meet you. I'm Oliver, the husband of Blessy. And, you know, I just have some tips because Blessy mentioned that you needed some advice on um, how do you write a book if you've never written a book before, or. And I will send you a copy of this book. And this is just a summary that I created before. Um, And when I send this book to you, it's a thick book, but you don't need to read everything. You can just go directly. You can just go directly to page 121, and that's basically what you need. So skip the first 120 pages. You need to go to page 122. So my experience in writing books. Actually, let me just go inside. Uh, I think I've written about several books already. So these are the books I've written. Different kinds of books. Canine, Osteoarthritis, a novel, The Secret Wars of Angels, How to Divide the World. So that's another book. I have also kind of a spiritual book, Church Without Walls. It's a how-to book. And then I also have a book on how to write a book in 60 days or less. But this is a big book. What you're probably going to write is a smaller book. So it might take you maybe three days, 5 days. Um, and then, different kinds of books. So I've written those, and most of them are published in Amazon. So if you type my name there, Oliver Villegas, you're going to see those books. And my other name in Amazon is J.D. Thomas, letter J, letter D, and then Thomas, The Secret Wars of Angels. So that's my novel. So tons of books. And there's a lot of books that I wrote about that at first I didn't have any idea. Uh, how do I how do I write, the book on this topic? And because a lot of the books that I wrote about are on topics that are totally new to me, like canine osteoarthritis. And then I even had one book, not on under my name, but I ghostwrited it for a client. I think a solar book, how to set up a solar system, solar panel, solar power system. And so I'm just gonna share with you some quick tips and quick techniques. How do you write that book? And the more detailed version, you can find it here in the document, in the PDF file that I'm going to send you on page 122. So you can start reading from there. But for now, even if you just watch this video, I think it's gonna be okay. Even if you don't read the guide that I send you, because it will just be time consuming. So the first thing that you have to write is, what is your main topic? Because usually it's a good idea to draw a mind map. So draw a mind map of what you will talk about in your book. So your central topic is, for example, Bitcoin. And I have no idea. I've heard of Bitcoin, but I don't really know a lot about it. I've read about it, just one article or two, but you can still, you know, uh, write a book even if you don't know anything about it right now. And that's the beauty of this technique. So the first thing you've got to do is, you know, I don't know what kind of book you're writing, probably something like Why Bitcoin? So that's just an example. I have no idea. I'm just guessing. 7 reasons why investors flock to Bitcoin. So that's just an example. You can change that. And that is your central topic. And this will be your outline, by the way. And my suggestion, if you are writing an outline, don't try to limit yourself. I mean, this is a time to brainstorm. This is a time to brainstorm and just, think free. Don't try to structure anything yet. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about the words that you use. This is just the time to just write down anything that comes to mind. So the central topic is that one. And I'll just open. You can do this on paper, by the way, but in this case, I'm going to do it using a free mind mapping tool called MindMaple. So it's usually much easier to have a mind mapping tool rather than have it in Word document. So why invest in Bitcoin? Some other stuff. So for this is the main topic probably. So for each topic, you want to write down just some initial ideas. And I don't know what the details are, but here are some examples. 7 reasons why investors uh, put their money in Bitcoin. And I don't know what those 7 reasons are. That's the time that you go to the to Google or to YouTube to research. And then uh, the first is the why. The second is how does Bitcoin work? And then you start answering other how questions. How do I get started investing in Bitcoin? Okay. And then you just write down what are the usual questions that might, come to the mind of any reader or even yourself. What are the questions that you're asking as you learn more about Bitcoin? So is investing in Bitcoin risky? Who are the successful people who invested in Bitcoin? So that's how we do the mind map. I'm just asking questions even when I don't have any idea. The only thing I know about Bitcoin is, it's probably an electronic currency or something like that. And after that, I don't know anything anymore. So the point is you can still create an outline even if you don't know anything about this. So subtopic, okay. So we now have the why. The first question that we need to answer is the why. Why should people read this? Another thing that you can write about, it's still under the why. What are the benefits of investing in Bitcoin? What are the advantages? What are the advantages? And then you have another why. What are the benefits? What are the advantages? And what are the features of Bitcoin? So now you have the why here on the right side. Let's proceed to the how. How does Bitcoin work? How do I get started investing in Bitcoin? Where do I go to, to start investing? And then, so now that we're done with the why, now that we're done with the how, we also ask questions like, is investing in Bitcoin risky? Who are the successful people who invested in Bitcoin? And then another question is, what should I focus on when investing in Bitcoin? What are some tips when investing in Bitcoin? What should I avoid doing when investing in Bitcoin? And so this is how we brainstorm. And for each one of these, you can now type that in Word. So what we just did was we answered the why should people read this. We also answered how does it work? We also answer what are the steps I need to take, and what if something, what if, you know, what if it's risky? What if it's a scam? What if it doesn't work? So these are the four guides, and you can expand, under the why. What are the benefits? What are the features? You know, uh, and then another why that I'd like to share with you is why should people invest now and not later? So that's another something to build urgency. So why should people read this? Uh, what are the benefits? What are the advantages? What are the features? Why invest now? So sometimes the time is running out. Uh, you know, uh, a lot of people are already investing, so the best time to invest is now, while it's still a growing industry. So that's something that you could say. And then once you finish the why, you can now proceed to how does it work. So how does it work? How do I get started? And where do I go to start investing? And what are the things I need to know? So these may be the frequently asked questions. You can find that, I think, in the Bitcoin website or any other website. And what are the steps I need to take? This is the part where you guide them step by step. Okay, guide them step by step. And you can put screenshots, step by step screenshots, and some instructions. And you can also recommend here the tools, if there are any tools, any softwares, any links, any URLs. And so if you answer these questions, you might, write one paragraph here or two or three paragraphs, one paragraph here, two or three. And then after you do these, you will end up with several pages. And usually you will just aim for maybe 20 pages, 30 pages. And that's already a good enough book, unless your client wants you to write longer books. And then what if, under what if is what are the risks, the ups and downs, um, what to avoid. So these are some things that you can follow. And then in the book that I am sending you, if you proceed to the next steps or the next pages, I actually did some mind map there. But now that we've covered that, um, these are the questions that are usually being asked. So why, what, how, who, when, which, where, and if. And then should I do this or should I not do this? So I will just copy paste this here in the document. So as you're writing the article, feel free to answer these questions, whatever subtopic you are talking about. And another one is you can use this template here. So I have a template. I'm gonna copy this again, where you can immediately feature 11 things. You can immediately just answer 11 things. Question one, then just replace this blank area here. Why blank need to learn blank? So why investors need to learn how to invest in Bitcoin, you know? So how does blank work? So you can just use this template, and then you can also use a summary. And one thing you can do, by the way, here at the start, you can just put here a summary, or just change the title to something good. So the summary might be uh, 7 reasons why investors block. So the summary might be like this. Here's what you will learn in this book. And then you can just, usually you add the summary after you've written the book. So first write down the book and then add a summary at the start, where you briefly describe each section, like the why should people read this, and then how does it work. It's just 1 or 2 paragraphs. It's an overview, and then the steps you need to take. So it's just an overview, and frequently asked questions. So just give them an overview. So that's the summary. And at the end, once you're finished writing the middle area, then you wrote the summary, you can also add a recap at the end. So it's another summary. So a recap of what are the things that they can do. Here's what you learned. So this is just another summary. Here's what you learned in this book and how to apply them. What you can do right now. So usually the difference between the summary and the recap is more focused on, just reminding them what can they do now that they've read the book. What should their next steps be? And I've got a ton of other templates here that you can just follow. For example, let's see. Okay, so here's another template. And you can just follow these templates. And I think that's basically it. And then I'm just gonna share with you some writing and sales copywriting. Sales copywriting is a more powerful form of writing because sales copywriting is more of persuasion. I'm just gonna share with you some quick tips. Number one is when writing, write using simple words that a 5-year-old child can understand. So write using simple words that an undergraduate can understand. So that's one of the most important things that when we are writing, we need to make sure that this is not creative writing. This is not to impress. Don't write to impress. Write to be understood. So that's the clear difference. If you're writing a novel, yes, you might write to impress, but if you are writing a how-to book, it's not a good idea to try to impress using complicated words. So avoid using complicated words, technical jargon, keep things simple. And the beauty about this principle is if you use this principle, it actually eases the burden on you because now you don't have to write complicated words. So whenever there is a need to mention a technical word, example, Bitcoin is actually a technical word. But what you can do is, people invest in Bitcoin. But what is Bitcoin? And then you start explaining. Bitcoin is, then you explain it in layman's terms. And that's it. So when writing, make sure never assume that your client already knows. So one good thing is assume that the client or the reader knows zero about this. So you have to explain in simple terms. So avoid writing academic style. Write to the ordinary person, not to the, don't write to the academics. Write to the normal, ordinary person who never finished high school or college. Because a lot of the people who will be reading the book are business owners, but they never finish high school. They never finish college. So, avoid writing academic style. And then when writing, I think, as long as you use these principles, you're already good to go. And I'm just gonna share just maybe two more to get you started. Focus on the benefits of, what the benefits are. What are the benefits to the reader? So, for example, save time, save money, and avoid mistakes, and know what to focus on and what not to focus on. And you can use this benefits for what? For your introduction. Why read this book? So you can save time, save money, avoid costly mistakes, and know what to focus on and what not to focus on. So that's an example, and you can come up with other benefits. And you can also do this on your other pages, for Bitcoin. So this is for the book. This is the benefit of reading the book, of reading your book. And the benefit of Bitcoin, that's another thing. Benefit of Bitcoin. But when you write this, of course, this is not what you put. You need to make it read a little bit better. This is just for your notes. Benefit of reading your book, benefit of Bitcoin, and benefit of following this system, following our system of investing, or is that investing or what? Investing in Bitcoin. And then you start putting it here. If you use our system, you will save time. So focus on the benefits. And then one thing that you also need to do is, benefits and features. So combine benefits with features, and then mention 3 benefits. Whenever you're saying a benefit, mention 2 more. Try to mention 3 benefits at once. So again, that's why I said save time, avoid costly mistakes, avoid frustrations of learning things on your own. And as you are researching on this topic, it will come naturally that you will read what are the benefits of Bitcoin. It's just within the article that you are researching. So, and that's basically it. If you follow this framework, you start with the why, you start with the how does it work, and then you answer these questions, and then what are the steps that you need to take, as you research that, and then what if, and then you recap, and then for each question, just make maybe 1 paragraph. If you have more ideas, 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, and you're done. Then as you learn more about this topic, you are gonna automatically come up with more questions. So it's up to you where you want to put that. Then once you finish writing, add a summary at the start, and then add a recap at the end, and then mention the website at the end. Mention the website at the end. Okay. Mention the website at the end, invite them to visit, and then explain to them the benefits of going to the website. So if you go to the website, example, here's what you'll get. A free video, and then a free guide, a free short ebook. That's another. And another is, learn more about the, the secret techniques that experts don't want you to know about. So that's basically it. And if you follow this framework, if you need more ideas, you can go through page 120 of the book and read forward, because I really put a lot of example templates here, ready-made questions that you can ask in any industry. putol ang mic ko.